I saw something on the evening news that I can't explain. My work friend and I were out at our favourite pub last night. Not a really fancy place, but cheap beer and close enough to home that I don't have to drive. The night started out normally enough. The four of us crammed into a small table off in the corner, mostly talking shop and shitting on our boss. Being this was the middle of the week, there weren't too many other people around, maybe around 8 or 9 others in the whole place. Everybody just kinda keeping to themselves, sort of people you'd expect to see in a pub on a Wednesday. Anyway, from where I'm sitting I have a pretty good view of the TV behind the bar. Jesse the bartender is kinda lazily flipping through channels and passes by our local news channel. There's a brief burst of orange and red on the screen which I register as a fire happening somewhere, which then disappears as Jesse switches over to the next channel. Something about the image looks oddly familiar though. "Hey Jess, can you switch that back?" I call out to her. The news comes back on and suddenly I recognize the building in the frame. It's my building and it's burning. "Holy shit," I say, loudly enough that a few people follow my gaze to the television. That's my apartment. The crowd in the bar falls kinda quiet, everybody's staring up at the screen now. The screen shows a wide shot of the outside of my building. The camera must be set up on the north end of the block because I recognize a lot of shops in the ground floor: property management, dry cleaner, convenience mart, etc. The top left corner of the building is aflame. It's not a huge fire by any means, but it looks like a few units between the top 4 floors or so have already been engulfed by the flames. "Jesus man," one of my coworkers says. That sucks. There's an uncomfortable murmur of agreement that passes around the table. I mean, I don't blame them, I wouldn't know what to say in the situation either. Yup, I agree, just as awkwardly. Thankfully, my apartment is only about halfway up and located on the west side of the building. I cross my fingers, hoping my stuff will be okay. The camera cuts to a reporter on the scene. He's standing a little further away, looking at the shops in the background. I can tell he's across the street in the northwest corner of the building. "Firefighters are expected on the scene any moment," he's saying, "and hopefully they'll be able to contain this horrible inferno before it spreads any further. As I was saying before, it's very fortunate that everyone was able to evacuate the building before things got too bad, or who knows what tragic events may have unfolded." He's really laying it on thick, my other co-worker's jokes. I chuckle a bit. All things considered, at the moment it really didn't seem all that bad. But then, a few moments later, hang on, the reporter on TV says, "We're getting some updated information, it seems. Hang on one moment," while we readjust the camera. The previously locked down camera starts to shift, the angle focusing on an area of the building about halfway up the west side. All the lights in the building are out except for one. I feel a weird creeping sensation as I start counting the windows from the bottom. 5 up, 2 over. That's my place. I swore I turned that light out, I think at first. Then I see it. There's a